first at the beginning of the webinar, but as I could see over here, the students are saying myself, myself. But saying myself is wrong. The first mistake it is what? Myself. I would like to tell you that if we are saying myself, Chaitali, myself, Apekshita, it is absolutely wrong. Sorry to say this one. I hope, am I audible to everyone? Please put it into the chat box if you're listening to me. That's good. All right. So instead of saying myself, you must say there or my name is. If you are saying myself, it will become absolutely wrong. Why? Because myself means what? My full character. It will contain my honesty, my beauty, my character, my behavior, my nature, my name, my background, each and everything. So if you are saying myself, it will be absolutely wrong. Do not say myself. Is that clear? Point number one. Now, by the way, the purpose we are over here is what Ielts is. That's what IELTS people say this. Okay. Now, what is IELTS? So before we go ahead, we'll give you brief introduction about it, and we'll be going through the slides one by one, one by one, one by one. All right. Let's go ahead now. IELTS is what I'm going to explain you over here. So I hope you're able to see my screen. And if you have any questions, any queries, any doubts, you can just put that into the chat box, because you won't be able to unmute yourself. So you can put that into the chat box if you have any questions, any queries over there. All right. Now, what is IELTS? IELTS is what? International English Language Testing System. It is the toughest exam as according to the people, but in my opinion, it is the easiest exam if you have the good command of English with you. As you can see over here, many of the people are there and they say that I want to crack IELTS, I want to go for IELTS, I want to go abroad for studies, I want to go abroad for settlement, and there are many other things as well. For that, you'll need to crack the IELTS exam. Now, what exactly IELTS exam is, what is the procedure, how is the procedure, how are you going to crack it, and what are the things you're going to learn from me in this one I'm going to show you today here in this webinar. So let's get started with the brief introduction of mine. All right. So as you can see here, some of the people, they know me, and some of the people, they don't know me. Here are the some people new. I can see there. So hello everyone. And this is what Ansar Ridisi. I'm India's leading English growth hacker. I have cracked the IELTS exam twice with 8.5 bands. Why do I say always this twice with 8.5 bands? Because what do I believe? I believe that all of my students should go better than me. And I believe that they are going to crack it as well. Apart from this one, I would like to tell you IELTS is one of the toughest exam, one of the higher exam for migration abroad and for working abroad, and even for studying abroad. And there are many other purposes we have. IELTS is the exam which is applicable for the whole world. If you are going anywhere in the world, you can go with IELTS. Now, apart from this one, we have some PET, we have TOEFL, and there are many other exams as well. But IELTS is the one of the best, and that it is applicable for the whole world. If you're going even Canada, so you can go there by IELTS. Is that clear? So now this is what I'm going to give you the great introduction, and how are the modules we have, and how are the things we are going to tackle in IELTS exam we are going to see over here. So I welcome you, all of you, once again with my webinar that is going to give you the great hacks, tricks, and some of the great things about learning IELTS. All right, let's get started now. As you can see here, the first thing comes is what? Modules. Now, how many modules do we have here for IELTS? We have total 4 modules there. And what are those modules? As you can see here, reading, first one, second is one, speaking, third, listening, and fourth, writing. There are 4 modules total we have in IELTS exam: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Now, what are those? Reading, writing, speaking, listening? As you can see there, we have reading module for 60 minutes. As you can see there, the 3 exams will be there which will be conducted in one day, and another exam will be there which will be conducted on any other day. And that's what, for example, you can have reading, listening, and writing in one day, and speaking on the other day. So it could be before this theory exam or after the theory exam. So as we can go for the first one, and that's what? Reading is what you are going to get a paragraph or newspaper cuttings and newspaper articles are there, and this exam will be there for 60 minutes. There'll be 3 sections, and there'll be total 40 questions which you have to solve. Okay, point number one. Point number two, for speaking. Speaking test is the least time test. Why? Because it contains only 11 to 14 minutes and sometimes 15. That's it. It doesn't take more than that. Why? Because even we have 3 sections over here. What 3 sections we are going to see further, that it will be the intro section, then speaking, and at the end questions and answers. Next one, recorded session will be there of speaking especially, and the other sessions are not recorded. Next one is what? Listening module contains only 30 minutes plus 10 minutes extra for checking your marks over there, which you have transferred in your answer sheet. Now, if you go through the listening modules, we have 4 sections over there, again with 40 questions. And what are those? We're going to discuss further in this webinar. And the writing module is, according to people, it is the toughest module we have over here for writing, and that's what it contains 60 minutes. And in that is 60 minutes, you're going to get only 2 tasks, which will be containing 40 and 20 minutes apart. All right. So let's go further. And if you have any questions, any doubts, any queries, you're going to just put it there into the chat box. I'll be here to help you. Next one comes with the writing, the toughest module, as I can say over here. Now, many of the people are there and they say that writing is the toughest module in IELTS. Why? Because as you are writing, whatever you are writing, many of the people, they have tried, even myself, I have tried many times. And what I have done, I've got only 8.5 bands. I'm not just saying that you can't get 9 out of 9. You can if you try. So it is what my belief. Many of the people are there in the world and they have got 9 out of 9 bands as well. But writing is the toughest task as according to the modules. So I'm going to take it the first. So we are going to go tougher, toughest, the tougher, and the tough one, and the easier one. Okay. So the first module I'm going to talk about is what? Writing. Now, generally, what do I write in my normal articles? And how do we write in our normal articles, in essays and all? IELTS is completely different from that. Why different? Because you have some restrictions, you have some conditions, and you have some other aspects of writing over here in writing skills of IELTS. I'll give you some hikes, great tricks of writing. As I'm going to discover the topic of writing over here, you will feel there writing is one of the major module of our IELTS. Why and how? I'm going to discuss it in detail. I'm going to show you how to do, especially writing in your IELTS. So point number one comes in your writing is what? That you are going to put there 60 minutes exam. You have to be patient. And see, point number one, do not look at the clock again and again and just get irritated and hesitated to write the exam. It will lower your confidence and you are not going to score as you can. So 60-minute test will be there, which will contain 2 tasks only in it, and that will be what? 2 types of tests we have. That's what academic and general. So if you see academic writing, they have two different tasks. Task number one, 150 words you're going to describe or summarize or explain the paragraph, diagram, table, or chart. As you can see here in academic exam of IELTS, you are going to have 2 tasks. Same in general tests, you have 2 tasks. How are you going to tackle with them? The first task will be there in academic. It will be containing only 150 words, and you will get there 20 marks for this one. It is up to you whether you're choosing the first task or second task. But according to me, you should go for first task first. It will contain 20 minutes, and you're going to write there to 150 words, 150 words, which is going to be like this. For example, summarize or explain the paragraph, the article, the table, the chart, or diagram. Okay. The second task will be there, which will contain 40 minutes and 250 words. As you can see there, you have to write there an essay, your point of views. You're going to write there some arguments, some discussions, some problems, and some situational solutions as well. So you're going to write an essay. In the general training, it is the same, the second task. What entails general training? I'm going to show you now. So according to this one, general training for writing. That's what first task will be there of 150 words. As you can see, as I've told you earlier, that we are going to have two kinds of tests in IELTS. One is general and another one is academic. Academic is for the students who are going abroad for studies, and general for the people who are going for work, who are going for settlement, for migration, who are going to live over there. That's what we have two different tasks. So point number one is what general and the academic. Academic I have shown you. In general tasks, you're going to have first task, which will contain 150 words, and you're going to write there a formal letter, informal letter, semi-formal letter to describe the situation. Okay, the situation which you will be given. So you have to just describe it in 150 words. That's it. Apart from this one, you're going to get the second task in general training, and that's what it will contain, the same as academic. You're going to write an essay. Academic and general both have the same kind of topics in the essay, which is for 40 minutes and for 250 words. It's up to you how much time do you take for this one and for the letter writing as well, but you have to finish in 60 minutes only. All right, next one. Now I'll give you some other great hacks and tricks, tips and strategies of writing in IELTS. Now many of the people, they might be thinking, "Arey yaar, IELTS ka exam hai and I'm going to crack it. What are the tips? What are the strategies of writing, listening, speaking?" So in detail, I'm going to go today only for writing, not for the other modules. The other modules will be discussed in the course. All right. Now, tips, strategy of writing, I'm going to show you here for IELTS. And those are what point number one contains academic writing. For academic writing is what introduction you're going to give. First, while writing, always remember, this is what I do teach in my class as well. According to IELTS, the students who are doing my classes of international English, they can pursue IELTS easily. Why? Because my pattern of IELTS is the same as IELTS only. So point number one, you're going to describe there in writing, introduction, then main body will be there, and the third part will be their conclusion. These are the three things which you're going to discover there in your writing exam, and you're going to get the great bands according to me. Next one. Now, point number one is what introduction. Many of the people are there and they feel that how to introduce our topic. This is the biggest problem of the people, that they do not introduce their topic, they do not introduce their own selves, and due to that they get, very less bands over here. Now if you see here, you have to summarize the information in the paragraph, diagram, table or chart. Point number one in the introduction. Avoid copying words and phrases from the question. This is what do we do generally. We just copy the words, we just copy the sentences from the question and we just write it just to fill up the exam paper, which is absolutely an illegal way to write in IELTS. Why do I say illegal? Actually, there is no such something like law, but illegal means what? You are not going to get the greatest bands over here according to the interviewer or according to the examiner. Now, if you see, do not copy the words from the questions. You have to write it into your own ideas in your own ways. Next one comes with your main body. What are you going to write in the main body? That's what, write 2 or 3 paragraphs only. Write 2 or 3 paragraphs only. See, as you have only 20 minutes, you're not going to enlarge it. As you know well, the letters and the summaries are really quite abbreviated and short, so you are not going to just have it longer and longer. So just write 2 or 3 paragraphs, highlight and describe the key pieces of the information. What is the main task over there? You are going to just put there only the main tasks, which should be highlighted. Okay. Next one, pick out the most relevant and interesting information from the topic. Now the moment when you are discussing the main body of the letter of the article, to describe it in first task, you are going to talk about the main things, the main theme of the article. Do not talk anything out of the topic. Do not go out of the box over here while writing. Point number one. Second, if you see there, now the conclusion. This is one of the most important thing. Many of the people, they write the introduction, they write the main body, but they do not write their conclusion, and due to that they face the problems while scoring the bands. Now, if as you can see over here, conclusion. Conclusion is what? Conclusion for 2 or 3 sentences that summarize what you have written exactly. I'll tell you one more thing. Many of the people are there, they just do one thing. They put their self, means they put their introduction, they put their main body, but they do not summarize the topic. Actually, the main thing over here comes with your introduction and summary. How are you summarizing? Means the examiner is going to read that summary, especially that how have you summarized it perfectly. If you have summarized it perfectly, you are going to get the great bands over there. Next one. Now, as I'm heading towards the tips and strategy of writing some more in detail, as you can see here, general training, task 2. As I've explained you in detail for task 1 and task 2 for general training and the academic one. As you can see here, general training, task 2. So introduction, paragraph, main body, and concluding remark will be there over. As you can see there, introduction, paragraph. Now, one or more 2 sentences starting with your reason for writing. Always remember, whenever you are writing, you are going to write in the main body, but the first part, which is what introduction, and the second part, which is what your conclusion. It is the main idea that the examiner is going to see there. Now, as you can see here, the main body will be where? In the middle. But the first part is what? Introduction. The second part is what? Conclusion. As you can see, the introduction will be there for 2 or 3 sentences. That's it. And next one, main body, expand each bullet points in separate paragraph. Now, I'll tell you one more thing. The moment when you are writing IELTS exam, so you take the topic where from your questions. As you got the topic of writing, at that time you make some bullet points in your mind. Suppose, for example, you've got a point. I could say there you've got another main topic of writing multimedia. All right, suppose just take the example of multimedia. You've got the topic of multimedia over there, and you are describing the topic multimedia. What is multimedia? So you should get some bullet points and copy them on your paper, or you can just fix it in your mind and elaborate those points in your main body. How are you going to elaborate? You're going to write about each bullet points in detail. Just take care of the time as well as you are writing. So just go with the main points and you're going to elaborate them. And at the end, the most important thing comes with your conclusion, because the conclusion is what? The whole summary, whatever you have written in 2-3 lines. That's it. Say what you expect to happen, hope, or sign off in an appropriate style of writing a letter. Yours faithfully, yours sincerely. That's it. At the end, you're not going to put there anything, like loving you, yours, thanking you. Do not, foreigners even don't use the word thanking you. I'm just talking about Indian people over here. That's what they do not write at the end. Thanking you was our style, which is not applicable for us. Remember this. For international English, it is not applicable over there. So you're going to end it with yours sincerely, yours faithfully, as you can end it in formal letter, semi-formal, or informal as well. Next one. Now the things are coming, tips and strategy more in detail for writing. As you can see there, I'm going to give the detail about especially writing. Why? Because I'm not going to show you the other things over here, like for speaking, listening, and for reading, because that will be occurring in our courses. So writing, again, I'm going to give you some great tips here for writing, and that's what, as you can see, academic and general both have the task to the same. As I've told you, in academic, you're going to explain the diagram or some kind of pie chart, and in general you're going to write a letter. But the second task of general and academic both are the same, and that's what you're going to write an essay. Academic and general writing task 2, which contains 40 minutes and 250 words to write. For example, question: online shopping is gaining popularity these days, but some people believe that is overrated and problematic. As you can see here, I've given just a simple example of task 2. You have the task 2 over here, which is same for academic and for general writing as well. You've got a question. As you can see there, just highlight the main point which you could see over there. For example, you're going to write there the main points. First, introduce the topic. What is online shopping? As you can see here, 2 or 4 sentences. Provide general framework of the essay. For example, sentence 1. Nowadays, many people prefer to shop online than to go shopping in traditional high street stores. This is the line you can give over there. It is containing what? You are just introducing the topic online shopping. Is that clear? Next one. Second line you can give there. However, online shopping has its own set of problems. Now you are just giving there some information about online shopping is what, as they have said that, but these days some people believe that it is overrated and problematic. Problematic, the word was there, you have elaborated in second line. Next one. While some people enjoy the convenience of internet shopping, others worry about not getting what they ordered and issues of privacy as well. So it is what, overrated and it is problematic. You have introduced those two words into detail in the third line. Yes or no? So this is what exactly you are going to start like this, the second test of essay of writing in general, in academic as well. Next one, we are going to head towards the next one, and that's what, do's of IELTS raising. Now, as you can see over here, while writing in IELTS, you have some do's and don'ts. Nobody will tell you the in detail what are you going to write over there and what are you going to not write over there. Many of the people, they face the same problem. Even I used to face earlier when I attempted my first IELTS exam. It was for me that I wasn't knowing that what shall I put there and what shall I not put there into my writing exam. As you can see here, there are some do's and don'ts I'm going to share with you. As you can see, the do's are there in front of you. Add some samples from your own experience if asked. Use punctuation correctly. Separate arguments for and against into different paragraphs. Use the right tone. Essay always formal. Now many of the people are there and they, what do? They just put there some while writing, they don't elaborate it well. They just give their short introduction. They just try to have the introduction in brief and they just move on. They do not use their punctuation marks correctly. For example, where are you going? After that, you have to put there a question mark generally, but they put there a full stop. It will go wrong. The moment when you are shouting, the moment you are expressing some thoughts, you're going to use there the punctuation marks accordingly. Only use possessive and personal pronouns when giving your own personal opinion. Do not use it anywhere unnecessarily. Getting it? And it should be grammatically correct. Well, the moment when you're writing, it should be grammatically correct. And the other, as you can see, the lead from one paragraph to another, well, connecting words are vital. The moment when you are separating the paragraphs, the moment when you are connecting two paragraphs together, you should put their good conjunctions. Just don't go by leaving one topic into another topic thoroughly as you go in speaking. So just don't go in vital way. For example, write neatly as it values reader writer relationship. The moment when you are writing, many of the people, they have bad handwriting as well, and the moment they when they write, it becomes very messy. They are cutting again and again. Please try to write it appropriately, that you don't need to cut the words over there, you don't need to cut the sentences over there. If you are cutting them, it will give very bad impact on the others. Apart from this one, write maturely to reflect maturity way of thinking. Now, if you see there, you should write in an appropriate way that the person who is reading your essay or writing lessons and all, so he should feel that yes, the person is really appropriate. He is a mature person, whatever he has written. Now don't put there some funny incidents over there, don't put there some smileys. That will give a very bad impact on the reader and he won't give you the greatest scores as you want to. Next, now make a plan in 3-5 minutes. It makes your essay more organized. Now the moment when you are getting the topic, just try to think for 2 minutes. What are you going to write over there? Make you some bullet points and then just elaborate them. Just don't start writing that you haven't read the question properly first and you started writing. it is not going to give you the great good marks and the good bands. Now, apart from this one is what make a plan in 3 minutes. It makes you easier, more organized, mature, and conveys the positive image of you. Because the matter, whatever you have written there, it will reflect your own personality. Getting it? The moment when you're writing in Ielts, whenever you are writing in Ielts, it will reflect your own personality. That how are you? I've been telling my students about the signature, about the writing. The way you are writing, it will reflect your personality, that how are you and what exactly is your image. Getting it? Just if you want to make clear your image, so you have to write in an appropriate way. Make your opinion very clear, formal, and reasoned point of view. Give in details. Okay, so the moment when you are just reflecting, because see, the people who are reading your article, they'll come to know about your personality. What sort of personality do you contain? What sort of mindset do you have? As you are writing, it reflects yourself. Getting it? Next one. Now again, we have some don'ts of IELTS writing. As I've told you that whatever you're writing, you should write in an appropriate way. Now we have some don'ts of IELTS writing. Whiteboard, write beyond the word range. Now for example, suppose many of the people are there and they write just beyond the range. As they want to write some words, they're using just out of the way words, which is really non-negotiable. It is not tolerable at all. For example, use contractions such as don't, shouldn't. Now many of the people are there, they just put their contractions a lot. As I've told earlier as well, in speaking, contractions are good. They are fine, that you can speak while saying with contractions. But the moment when you're writing, do not put their contractions. Don't put their even don't, put their do not, rather than saying don't. Next one, overcause. Now overuse connecting words, asserts and expert that. Apart from this one, jump on one idea to the next, link and link. That's it. Means what, you are just repeating the words over here. Don't repeat the words, don't put there the abbreviations, don't use the wrong tone. Now many of the people are there, I shouldn't say like this, but just telling you the example over there. If you want to give the word stupid, don't give that the word stupid. It will give very bad impact on the reader, because you have such a great negative mind that you are just giving a word which is completely negative for listening and for reading as well. Don't use the wrong tone, which will give very bad impact on the reader. Next one, write eligibly. Now what do you mean by write eligibly? Means what, whatever you are writing, write it in an eligible way, that the reader after reading it should get happy. It shouldn't go into the another way, that you are writing something beyond the limits and according to the law you are going to write there. Now many of the people are that they contend this problem, that using idioms too frequently in inappropriate way. Now I'll tell you one more thing. The moment when you are going to write it, as you can see my articles on social media as well, the moment when you are writing, write for the people, not for yourself, because you are writing ultimately just to show the people. So it is for the people, not for yourself. As you know well that you have good command on English language with idioms, cliches, and there are many other things as well. But don't show the others that you know it well. I mean what? Means what? The moment when you're writing, don't put the cliches, idioms too frequently, which are not necessary at all, because it will become very tough for the reader to read and to understand it well. The moment when is he reading or is she reading, she should get to know that what exactly do you want to express into the reading. Next, write in a babyish manner. Now many of the people are there, they're just writing in kiddish manner, and it give very bad impact on the reader, because see, this is what else, it's not a KG exam. So you're going to write it in an appropriate manner, whatever you're going to write over there. For example, you are writing in detail, like for example, some kiddish things. I do not go there like this and like that. Means what, this becomes very kiddish. So you don't have to write there in a kiddish manner. You are going to write in a professional and very mature manner, that you, whatever the matter you're going to put over there, then become a clock victim. As I've told you earlier as well, that do not look at the clock again and again just to hesitate and to irritate your writing. Don't get panic from this one. Start writing without a plan. Now many of the people are there, as I've told you earlier as well, the moment when you see the topic of writing, just think of it first for 2 minutes. If I tell you that think of it, so don't think of it for an hour. Just think of it for 2 minutes, for 3 minutes, that's it. And just build a plan in your mind, whatever you have to write. Whatever you have to write, build a plan in your mind for 2, 3, 5, 7, and 10 bullet points you're going to put there in your mind, and you're going to elaborate them. Just don't start reading as you're writing your in your school exams. Forget to leave a blank line between paragraphs. Now many of the people are there, they forget to leave a line in their paragraphs. What do? As the first paragraph has finished, they just start the second paragraph without leaving the line, and it becomes very messy to read, that where are the people catching into the another paragraph while reading the first one. So the moment when you're reading in Ielts and writing as well, you will find there the paragraphs contain one line gap. The paragraphs contain one line gap. That one line gap, it looks very good. Apart from looking, it is really very good and very humble way to write in Ielts. Apart from this one, don'ts of Ielts writing. Some more are there. For example, use generalization all, every, as this reflects an immature way of thinking. Now I'll tell you one more thing. Many of the people, they are just writing, all of you, all are going there, everywhere is going there, everyone is coming over here. So do not use these words over there. Every, everywhere, all these things. We can just put there some people like this, people like that. Someone is going to give. So we are writing that everywhere, you. It will give a very bad impact on the others, that the moment when you are just speaking over there, or the moment when you are writing over there in else, do not point others. You are going to do this, you are going to do that, you are going to do this. We can say there me, or we can say there we, sorry, we we can say we we can say that our propaganda rather than saying you. Next one, use simple sentences if you want high score. This is the great guru mantra, that if you want great high score in alts, just try to use simple sentences. Many of the people are there, I've just noticing, means I've been noticing since long time, in my sessions as well, the students are trying to just get the greatest sentences of speaking, but it doesn't matter anything. Means what? If you are going for writing, just try to write there some simple sentences. Those are the simple sentences which are going to give you great score. If you're going to write some high level English, if you're going to write there some idioms, cliches, proverbs, it will not give that great impact, because the people don't have time to understand it well. Getting it? Next one. And do not use there some lazy expressions, like for example, and so on, etc, etc. Don't put there such words. Now for example, I go to the hotels, I have lunch there, and I do these things, etc. Etc means what? The further things you consider yourself, means you are ultimately insulting the reader. Copy part of your task question. As I've told you earlier, do not copy the question into your answers. Suppose for example, the people are they used to do only the one mistake, and that's what they used to copy the question again and again, just to put there into the answer sheet, just to fill it up. It doesn't matter over there. So just do not copy, or you can just use there some synonyms. You can use there some other words rather than that, so it will give you a very good hike. Next, agree with the both side. Choose one side to make your opinion clear, and go off the topic at the end. Now the moment when you're writing, so you should be agree with it. Just don't show your positivity completely, just don't show your negativity completely over there while writing. Clear? Next one. Now we are going to go for the reading part. Now what is reading part? It is really very easy, I just believe so, because you are going to get there 3 sections in reading with 40 questions. The tests for the academic tests come from authentic sources such as magazines, journals, books, and newspapers. For academic, you have three sections. For general, you have three sections in reading. For academic, it comes that you're going to get the section article of magazine, journals, books, and newspaper. And text for the general training test could include their advertisements, leaflets, and instruction manuals as well. So you'll get the equally both are the same, but you just have to read them carefully as you are going for the academic test. So you will get some magazines, journals, books, and newspapers articles to read it. And a text for the general training is what which will include their advertisement, leaflets, and instruction manuals. You're going to read and you're going to answer accordingly. Next one, 60 minutes will be there for the exam, and there'll be what 40 questions, as I've told you this earlier. Next one, now tips and strategy for reading in brief. For example, you're going to read extensively, means what, just read it once and just try to have it good focus over there and just highlight the points which are really very important. And you should go for the spellings and the grammar. Check the grammar, check the spelling first, because whatever you're going to speak there, whatever you're going to read there, whatever you're going to see there, and whatever you're going to write there into your answer sheet, it must be appropriate. Listen to me carefully. That and next, identify the main idea of the each paragraph. Read the instructions and questions carefully. The moment when the people they read, they just try to go very faster just to save the time, and it goes very wrong with them. The moment when you're reading, you should have the great habits of reading. As I've been telling my students since long time, if you have the great ability to speak, you should have the great ability to read as well. If you are a good reader, you could speak well. So reading is really one of the greatest tasks. If you have good reading skills, you can go for the best scores in Ielts, because it gives you sometimes, some tricky questions, some contradictions over there, which will give you a great chance of thinking as well. Apart from this one, read the instructions question carefully. Identify the keyword in each question and then go back to the passage and scan them, skims the answer. Now I'll tell you one more thing. What are you going to do here in reading? Just put up a highlighter, or you can just put up a pencil just to underline the main keywords and points, and it will give you a great task to read it well and to find the answers. Now for example, they have given a task of reading of what they have given. Some paragraphs, 4 5 paragraphs are there. In those 5 paragraphs, you are going to find there, they have given for the ticket. The main theme is for the ticket. Now, uh, who is this A? A? Just a minute, huh? I'm really sorry for this one. I did not get that. I'm so sorry. All right, now I'm really sorry for this one. Yeah. So do not waste your time reading every word in a passage. Now see, I'll tell you one more thing. If you have good reader, if you are a good reader, and if you have good reading habits as well, so the moment when you're going to read there, you should not read each and every word over there in detail, because if you're going to read it, so it will consume you a lot of time. And the moment when it is consuming you a lot of time, you won't have the perfect time for writing your answers into the answer sheet. Now, and the other things are there also, that use the context to help you to work out the meaning of the unknown words. The moment when you're reading, I'll give you the great hikes of reading as well. The moment when you're reading in Ielts, you are going to read it just thoroughly. Okay? Just don't read it in detail. And the unknown words are there. Just don't try to find it into the dictionary, or just don't try to bother yourself for this one. You can go with the meaning by seeing the context over there. Context is really very important thing. If you know the context, you'll come to know the meaning easily. Write your answers directly on the answer sheet. The moment when you are reading and you are feeling, yes, this could be the answer and this is the question, read the two questions together. This is the strategy. You won't find this anywhere. People are saying just go one by one. I say go for two questions at a time. Go for two questions. Why? Because when you are reading one paragraph, it may contain into another one, that you will get the answer of the second one. It doesn't matter that you're going to get the answer in the first one at the beginning only and the second one on the later. It could be the first one later and the second one could be the earlier. So just try to get the 2 questions over there at a time, and then you're going to answer them while reading as well. Next one, the thing comes over here is what the next is what IELTS reading question types and what are the question types are going to have there. Now you'll get their matching heading, true false not given, match the paragraph, information, summary completion, sentence completion, multiple choice questions, list selection, choosing a title, categorization, table flowchart diagram, completion, and short answer question tutor, etc. You are going to get there, such kind of questions which you're going to read and you're going to answer them. So it is really very simple. The moment when you are answering in IELTS, you should have good reading ability. If you have the good reading ability, you're going to perform well there. Next one. Now, speaking test. It is one of the easiest tests and one of the best one I could say here. The easier one is what in the IELTS exam speaking components take place with a candidate and examiner in an examination room. The test takes around 11 to 14 minutes and has 3 parts. Now, as I've told you earlier also, test of speaking is really very easy. It goes for 11 to 14 minutes, maximum 15. That's it. No more than that. It is a recorded session between the examiner and the student. Both are they going to have there. The examiner and the student will be sitting together. First one will be what? Introduction will be there. And the examiner will ask the person. See, introduction part and overview of this. For example, the examiner asks the candidate questions about familiar topics. Example, family and friends, hobbies, favorite foods, etc. They're going to ask there the different questions just to make the person very familiar with the topic and just to relax with the interviewer, as both are new for each other, so they don't bother each other much about it. Second one is what the person will get the cue card. What is that cue card? Individual long-term cue card is there. The examiner gives the candidate a task card with some prompts, and the candidate has a minute to prepare the task about the topic on the card, and candidates speak for 2 minutes in the given topic. The examiner then follows up the questions and topics about the topics and all. See, I'll give you one more thing. The moment when you're going to get the cue card, the examiner will give you the cue card. You will find there the topic, and as you'll see the topic, he will give you 1 minute for thinking about the topic. You can make some bullet points in your mind. You can make some bullet points, or you can just write those bullet points over there by pencil. And later, after finishing that 1 minute, he'll be having some kind of stopwatch for 1 minute and timing 2 minutes as well. So he'll put up the time on the stopwatch. After finishing 1 minute, he'll tell you to speak up on the topic which is given there in your card. Next, you'll be speaking there for 2 minutes continuously. And as you are speaking there 2 minutes continuously and you're going on, the interviewer or the examiner will stop you over there. Okay, the person who is examining you, he will stop you over there after 2 minutes, and then the third tasks come, which is what? Questions and answers. So two-way discussion will be there in the kind of questions and answer. The examiner will ask you the questions and you will have to answer him. For example, the examiner asks the candidate some abstract questions and related to the any social topic, education, sports, story, history, any historical places and all, and about the topic as well. So whatever the topic you have spoken, he may ask you some questions about that, or he may ask you some different questions apart from the topic as well, just to discuss with you in an English, appropriate grammar, pronunciation, sentences and all. Now, next comes with your listening. The last part is what? Listening. Listening is one of the, people say according to me, but it is what? 50-50. Listening is one of the best part, that you can just listen and you can transfer your answer into the answer sheet. But remember, you should have good ears to listen them. Now, the IELTS listening components consist of 4 sections. Again, as you have seen in the reading one, listening is the same, that you have 4 sections over there. The first section, the recording of the conversation between two speakers in an everyday social situations. You'll hear the first conversation. You'll have your answer sheet with you. You can just listen to them and you can just keep on transferring your answers as you are good with your listening. And if you're not, then you can just think of it and then you can just put it into the answer sheet. So first will be there a conversation between two people that they are speaking, and you are going to listen to them, and the questions will be according to that, 1 to 14 or maybe 1 to 7 at the beginning, and you're going to transfer the answers according to your conversation. Next one, the recording of the monologue in an everyday social situation. They are going to put there a monologue of everyday situation, and you're going to listen to them on what are the problems, the solution they are saying. So there'll be the questions from 7 to 14 approximately, or 7 to 17. There'll be around 7 or 10 questions will be there. So you can just listen to them carefully and you're going to write there. And see, always remember, it doesn't matter that whatever you have written, means they have written in the question paper, it will be there in the audio as well. Sometimes it contains, most of the time it contains what, abbreviations. Most of the time it contains what, synonyms of the words. Now for example, this is good, if they are saying like this, so in the audio they might be saying, yeah, this is fine, this is great, or this is fantastic, or this is appropriate. So the with the word good, the word appropriate is matching, you can put that the word appropriate they've said. So sometimes they'll be giving you some kind of synonyms. Next, third recording will be there of conversation between 2 or 4 people in an educational or training situation. Now, institution will be there. They are making some conversation about the institution paragraphs, or they are talking about the educational system or portion. You're going to listen to them and you are going to answer the questions accordingly. And fourth section will be there, the recording of the monologue on an academic subject. A subject recording will be played and you have to answer them accordingly. Getting it? Next one, tips and strategy for listening, and that's what, read the instructions carefully, understand and respond them. And as I've told you, you should have good ears to listen to them carefully. Whatever they are, just because you're going to get the headphones like this to listen to it, and you won't have anybody over there apart from you. So you're going to listen to them carefully and you're going to transfer your answers over there into the answer sheet. Focus on article prepositions in completing the sentence question type. Just remember what are their dates, days, time, prepositions, articles they have put into the listening part. Now, the moment when you're listening, so they might be asking you any questions. For example, where was the bottle? The bottle was under the table, on the table, above the table, beside the table, anywhere. So you are going to focus on the prepositions. What was the time? It was 30, was that? Or was it 30th or 28 or 20th? It will give you very good preparation of listening. Next, spelling. Spelling. Sometimes, for example, they are discovering the address. So how are they discovering the address? You're going to spell them well. For example, the moment when you are listening to them, you should know what exactly, just a minute, please. And see, I'm just telling you one more thing is here, that if you are over here new, and as well as all the students, please, can you please give your detail to Miss Madiha? She's the co-host. Okay, please transfer your details to her so we can just contact you later. Okay, Miss Asia Akram, Miss Chaitali, Miss Josna, Miss Rukaya, Miss Sania, Miss Apekshita, all of them, please send your details to Miss Madiha Tamboli. Okay, thank you for the cooperation. Next one, now as you can see over here, the test will be there. For listening, you are going to have some great identity words in the questions and focus on the part of the audio, paid training, and the keywords as well. Now I'll tell you one more thing. The moment when you're listening to the audio, you should have very good clear ears. The moment when you're listening, the timing, spellings of the addresses, name of the addresses, and there are many wait, unmute yourself please, all of you. Miss Ruby, unmute yourself. Yeah, nobody will sorry, mute yourself, nobody will unmute. Okay, so sorry for this one. So now I'll sorry. Next one is what? As you can see there, if you miss an answer, move on. And see, one more thing, the moment when you're listening, if you have missed an answer, so move on. Just don't bother about the last question, which will destroy your present and the future questions as well. And then concentrate while listening. First of all, the moment when you are listening, just don't think about anything else. You are going to concentrate on your listening first. And when you are practicing the test, learn from your mistakes by studying the audio scripts. And I've told the students as well that whenever, the moment when you are speaking, on the moment when you're reading or listening, just put your full concentration over there while reading, speaking, and writing as well. So as you can see over here, The moment when you get distracted from your listening part, it will give you a very bad hike over there not to transfer your answer into the answer sheet. But the moment when you're going to listen, listen it very carefully so that you can put up your answers into the answer sheet. All right. Next one, IELTS listening questions are there, and that's what listening questions you're going to get there. IELTS listening questions types of, for example, form completion, note completion, summary completion, sentence completion, multiple choice, diagram labeling, map labeling, and table completion from the chart tutor, and there are many other things as well you're going to see over there. As you can see there, the moment when you have summary of something, a completion, note completion, form completion, you'll find there a form is there, correct? Example I'm just giving you. If you have a listening task of form completion, you'll get a form and they're going to spell it well. Listen to them carefully. You should have your good command on your ABCD. ABCD means what? I would like to tell you that your alphabets, sound and pronunciation should be very, very clear. As you are going to write over there the sounds of them. For example, H, A, L. Some people they say yum yum yun. It is what? L, L, M, M, H, W. It is not W. That's what W, W. You should be very familiar with them. Getting it? Next, the moment when you are labeling the diagrams and all sentences completion, you should listen to them carefully that whether they put their an or a or the articles are there. So the moment when they are writing, the listening, you're listening to them, you should write their appropriate according to your ears as you have listened. Next things is what? Marking in IELTS. Listening and reading, we have 40 items, each worth 1 mark if correctly answered. So if you're going to give there the correct 40 answers, you're going to get the 9 out of 9 bands. In listening and reading, both are the same. Next one, for writing task, task 1 completed, task 2 completed, coherence and cohesions is there, lexical resource and grammatical range and accuracy. As I've told you before also, many of the people are there and they face problem in writing task. Why? Because they are just losing some points. For example, point number 1, introduction. Number 2, main body. Number 3, conclusion. So the moment when you are writing the introduction, it should be appropriate in 2 to 3 lines. That's it. And conclusion should be in 2 to 3 lines. That's it. All right. Apart from this one, the moment when you are writing the main body, it should contain 2 or 3 paragraphs. That's it. No more than that. Your introduction and your summary will decide your score over there in writing. Point number 1. Next one, speaking. In speaking test, fluency and coherence. Next, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy and pronunciation. The moment when you're speaking, your pronunciation should be good, fluency should be good, grammatically your sentences should be good, and the moment when you're speaking, your voice and audibility should be good according to your lexical resources and all. So these are what marking in IELTS you're going to have here accordingly. As you're good with these things, you're going to get higher and the highest scores. And now the things are coming over here with the chart according to our course. As I've just explained you what exactly IELTS is and how you're going to crack it, the tips and strategies I've just shown you over here. So I'm going to start a new course of IELTS over here, which will give you great hikes and tricks and the things to score well and to crack IELTS exam in a better way. So we are going to have our classes. As you can see there, outside people have classes only for 4 days, Monday to Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they have 4 days classes. But here you're going to get 5 days classes, Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday will be week off. Okay. Apart from this one, whatever you have thought, whatever you have just seen over here, what do you think that how much could be the course fee of IELTS? Can you please put it into the chat box? I want to see all of you. Please put it into the chat box. That how much should be the fee of this course. As you can see, this is the toppest course here in the world to go anywhere, to work anywhere freely. What do you think the course fee should be? Could you please put it into the chat box? Yes, please put it into the chat box. According to you, what could be the fee? Yes. Okay. What do you think about the fee? 11,000. Okay, ma'am. Yes, please put up your opinions. 15,000. All right. Anyone else? For this course, as I've just explained you over here, that how much should be the course fee of this one? All right. That's good. Now, according to the other institutions, they are just charging there around 20 to 25K, 20 to 25,000. But for you people, I have a surprise over here. And the surprise is what I'm going to share with you in sooner. Just have a look here for further information more. Now you're going to have your 5 days class, Monday to Friday. Okay, and the class will be going on for 4 weeks according to the others, but in our class you're going to get 8 weeks. Now what other people have here outside, they give the 4 weeks training. Okay, 1 week for reading, 1 week for writing, 1 week for listening, 1 week for speaking. But here in my class you're going to get there 4 plus 4, 8 weeks training. It means what? Equivalent double training. Apart from that, not only Monday to Thursday, but Monday to Friday, you'll get one more day extra here, as you can see in the table. So you'll have 8 weeks course, which will contain two parts. For example, 2 weeks for reading, 2 weeks for writing, 2 weeks for listening, 2 weeks for speaking. Okay, it will make you better to understand and grab the opportunity well. So now we are going to give you here the great thing, and that's what? Free data, which is digital. You're going to get Ielts full data free. This is the first and the pilot batch of over here that you are going to get full data absolutely free. Getting it? The whole data will be free for you. You can just grab it and you can just study it anytime, anywhere. All right, the data will be absolutely free. And at the end, because I am just doing it, why? Because your success is what? My success. I believe in it. Your success is what? My success. Your success is our institution success, our success. Because I'm going to teach you at that level. The moment when you're going to get the greatest score, our name will be there. So your success is our success. Is that clear? So this is what, and the final, apart from this one, the final surprise is coming. The fee is for this course only 15,000. Only 15,000. As according to the market, they have 20 to 25,000 for this fee. We are going to train you just in 15,000 for 8 weeks. Apart from that one, you have one more chance according to this one, that you're going to pay 50% now and 50% after a month, and it will be getting waived completely. All right, so 50% now and 50% after a month, when you'll come to know that what exactly the matter is. So this is what it for today. Thank you so much for attending this webinar, understanding and giving the great thumbs of yours. If you have any questions, you can ask me now, and you can put it there into your chat box, and here are the details. Getting it? Yes, if you have any questions, can you please put it into the chat box? And please put your numbers, your contact numbers into the chat box, please, all of you. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. If you have any questions, please put it into the chat box. And our batches are going to start sooner. All right, you'll get the notice from the classes. You will get the email for starting the batches and all, and each and everything, curriculum and all, you will get over there. And if you have any questions, you can ask me directly, no problem at all. If you have any questions, please put it into the chat box. And the students who are there, they are going to as they want to attend it, so we are going to approach them personally. And if you have any questions, you can ask us directly. All right, and thank you so much for attending this one. Have a good Sunday. Thank you. Cheerio.